It was
Yeah.
a group. It was a group of four nutty founders out of Cambridge who were brilliant, who then teamed up with a surgeon, and then they just did magic. They really did magic.
Yeah.
But there were some strategics behind them. Medtronic invested in them in the early days, and so did
Mm.
General Electric. GE Healthcare invested in them in the early days, and I think that a lot of the strategics were looking at placing some bets everywhere. But Versius was built to be a standalone business. CMR was built to be a
Yeah.
standalone business and a standalone product. And yeah, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't a build to buy, and it definitely wasn't a Cambridge University spin out.
Yeah. And you went full commercial with it, which I think is
Oh
beautiful
yeah,
because it's contrary to a lot of the advice, at least that circulates from like Joe Mullins now on if a strategic's getting into this space, they need to find something, they need to invest in it, they need to do the build to buy, and then they pick it up and they commercialize it and scale it. You don't want to be owning the commercial strategy as well as the technology development. But CMR's done the whole end to end, and it seems very disruptive. So I mean, how did you get that far? Because it's approaching an
yeah,
acquisition as well, right? Or did
yeah.
that pause or go
Well,
quiet?
no, I don't. Yeah, I'm not so sure where they are with the acquisition. I mean, I hope they do get bought. I really do. I think
Yeah,
that's a technology that deserves to really, be boosted forwards, and I wish them all the luck for that to happen. The commercialization side of it was we sort of realized at the time. Well, you got to remember at the time we were sort of the number two,
yeah,
and we realized that the robot, and I still believe this today, it requires a lot of care, love, and attention. It's not a transactional sale at all. You
mhm,
basically set up a program for 7 years, and you own that program for 7 years, and you're involved in it for 7 years. And I was a strong proponent and believer that you have to have commercial control of that. We also had to have commercial control of how the deals were done because we were trying to disrupt. At that time, remember, the lease and the managed service was not big, and we came up with this idea of doing the lease and the managed service, and that was disruptive, where you pay per
yeah,
click, a bit like the
mhm,
photocopier world. Um,
yeah,
and a lot of that you had to control by being direct. Plus, we also wanted to control the level of the training, the quality of the training, the quality of the messaging. All those things were very important to us as a company, and you could only really do that as direct. And we were very lucky that we hit almost like an investment bubble when you could take 600 million of investment in a round, and you could
yeah.
get the soft banks, and you could get the alley bridges, and you could get some of the big investors to put money into you, because everyone was still had hopes and dreams in those days.